No to XXX!
You have all, from over the past 5 years, have heard quite a bit come out of my mouth, but there's always been a question of whether or not the industry supports .XXX. I can unequivocally say no, the industry does not support it. This time we brought industry leaders with us to talk to you and firsthand and talk to you about why they don't support it.
Just want to say it's been many years that we fought against this particular TLD, and we thought we've had it beaten, and it just seems to be Hydra is something. The bottom line with this TLD is that there's a range of problems that we have to face as an industry if it's approved, ranging from little annoying things to really giant catastrophes for the industry. And there really is no benefit. So over the years we've said loudly and clearly to ICANN again and again, no, we don't want it. We've done this through every means we can think of, through emails and tweets and phone calls and letters, and if there's a way to communicate, we've used it.
We're really a DVD company. As of today, we don't even have a membership site or a paid site. Never had one. But if you look at the websites of ICM and I4, it just seems to be a lot of smoke and mirrors. None of it really makes sense. You know there's something going on behind it. And to me, it just appears there's a total profit motive going on here. It's not for the industry. It's not for the good of the population. There really weren't any supporters for the .XXX out there today. Where's the support for that other than somebody who's going to profit off it? That's where the support seems to be coming from. Also, the industry is not represented within .XXX. And I think if we were to have a .sex or .XXX, we should really have a board of industry people who would go in and make suggestions and participate in decision making.
For over 25 years, I've represented a number of very large production companies, including Hustler, Vivid, Wicked, and many others. I still represent them. I can tell you in no uncertain terms that they are unalterably opposed to .XXX. I know that there's been some spin out there that in some way the adult industry, and especially the larger production houses, are in some way in favor of this, and that's simply not true. I personally feel that this is a content-based classification, and that has been something that fortunately the Supreme Court has avoided for many years in ranking speech of, political speech being the highest and something else being the lowest. I certainly would never like to see that. I don't think that should ever happen. And I think this is a step in that direction. And there is no reason to segregate adult entertainment that's lawful from any other kind of entertainment or speech form. And this is something that is a step in that direction and a crack in the door. And as the old Supreme Court decision said, the door should be slammed. Adult-related speech is not a stepchild to any other kind of speech. And as far as I'm concerned, this effort is an effort to make it a stepchild. So we are opposed to it.
Well, I just want to go on record to say that profit-making businesses are something I think are good for our country. The problem is when you have an interface with government regulatory agencies or government-appointed nonprofit, which is what ICANN is, and they have the power to regulate our industry to the point where they can create new top-level domains or whatever. And it's not a free market, it's not an open market, and that creates a problem because ICANN has to respond to political pressure. And creating a vehicle for them to for them to respond to political pressure, either through control or some rules or something that might wind up being imposed on a .xxx would be a very bad thing. And Mr. Cambria said it far better than me in terms of how we have to be very careful that we don't give them any way to categorize us differently or to oppress our free speech. Thank you very much.
Obviously, I share the constitutional concerns and the free speech concerns that the two previous speakers have raised. I want to talk about a completely different issue, though. In my opinion, .xxx is nothing but a means to extort tens of millions of dollars from the legitimate adult entertainment industry. The lifeblood of adult entertainment producers is their intellectual property and their trademarks. My clients spend years, and I represent clients from large providers to small providers to performers, all the way across the spectrum, and for the record, none of them are in favor of .xxx. They spend years building their brands and identifying their trademarks and registering their trademarks. But trademarks are protected primarily for the benefit of the public, not the trademark holders. And so there are obligations on trademark holders. And when you understand that if you do not police a trademark, meaning allowing somebody else to exploit your brand name and not stopping it, that will show you what the .xxx business model is all about. It forces every individual, every company in the adult entertainment industry a Hobson's choice. You either have to buy a .xxx domain or you have to sue somebody to stop using a .xxx domain. Because if you don't, you lose your trademarks. That is the ICM business model here. Don't kid yourselves. There's no benevolent cause as far as making the world safe for porn. It doesn't do that. All of the things that these people have proposed, rubbish. This is an extortion scheme and nothing else. Thank you.
I want to hone in on this child protection component that's being thrown around here and share my perspective on .xxx. The public's awareness of adult entertainment is largely based on our products, and they're unaware of our behind-the-scenes efforts. For example, how many of you know that for years the adult industry has provided 100% of the funding to the Association of Sites Advocating Child Protection? This is a group whose entire purpose is to help protect children and which has been recognized by the U.S. Congress. This message about the adult industry's responsible conduct is a difficult one for us to communicate because we have some critics who purposely attempt to demonize our industry and disseminate false information. And I say all of this as a protective mother of 2 young daughters and as someone who has an insider's perspective on our industry. In my opinion, ICM is merely using child protection as a marketing ploy for .xxx. A marketing ploy that ironically draws on the myths and negative stereotypes about the very industry ICM says it wants to serve. But I've looked at the .xxx plan in detail, and it does nothing to enhance the industry's approach to child protection. Legitimate businesses already label our websites as sexually explicit. We already support groups like ASACP. And adult businesses already maintain meticulous records to prove that all performers are over the age of 18 and willingly and voluntarily performing. Those who target or exploit minors are part of a sick, criminal internet underworld and in no way part of the adult internet or adult industry at all. And we're disgusted by any implication otherwise. So overall, I want you to know that Pink Visual does not support .xxx for many reasons. But ICM's cynical appeal to the unfounded fears about our industry and their attempt to profit from child protection should be reason enough for ICANN to reject the proposal.
Our industry does have a lot of real estate on the internet, and that's one of the things that I think was attractive about our industry for ICM. There's a great potential in the belief system. There's a great potential for revenue for a company coming out and trying to sell top-level domain names at $60 to $70 per. Again, as Allison said, perpetuating the myths and stereotypes, negative myths and stereotypes that are out there. And we do find that ironic that they are making money off of and by perpetuating these myths up in the industry that they propose to serve. As I said, our industry is very much part of the online community, and actually a good part of the online community. One of the people in our industry who is extremely talented on that level is the CEO of Wasteland.com. And so Colin's going to come up and speak a little bit about his concerns about XXX.
Good afternoon. I'm going to kind of pick up on what Al had talked about as far as this basically being an extortion and a land grab on the backs of the adult community. My great concern is about how much is this going to cost. There are a lot of other concerns, but I see this as going down a bunny hole, particularly when it comes to enforcing my brands and my trademarks that we've spent literally the last 16 years developing and doing it right. This .XXX really pulls the rug out from underneath of us as far as our business model and what we've done, and will cost great amounts of money no matter what we do. We can pony up and spend $60 to $70 per domain defensively, and just sort of suck that up and then take whatever consequence there is as far as possible censorship by owning that, or ignore it. And as Al said, you know, what happens then is you get to go hurl litigation dollars at people that are, you know, infringing upon your domain, so you're not sitting on your rights. It's my understanding that contrary to what ICM said at its rollout of the Sunrise for .XXX at Cartagena conference, adult businesses will be able to block their trademark names from going live for an as of yet undetermined fee. I can't get that out of Stuart Lawley. I basically cornered him last night at the gala. I can't get a number. How much do I have to give you to pull Wasteland.com and my probably 500 other domains off the market? I can't get that. Is it $100? Is it $500? I know it's going to be more than $1. That concerns me. So, if I want to block my trademark name, Wasteland.com, from going live in the root, I can for a fee, possibly a very hefty fee. However, all the extensions, misspellings of that trademark cannot be blocked. So, plain and simple, this is extortion. I don't appreciate it. I will do whatever I can to fight it to my dying breath.
One of the things that has been said over and over again, this is just FSC, they're just a small part of the industry. Well, in your press packet, you'll see that you have letters from a number of the industry leaders, from the top Alexa-rated companies. You've got a letter from Larry Flint, you've got a letter from Phil Harvey from Adam and Eve, you've got letters from the top Alexa-rated companies from Manhunt, from Manwin. This is an international issue. There are 2 other trade associations in the world, both of which have come out against .XXX. You have those letters and statements as well. So this is not just about FSC, this is about the industry. Not just about FSC members, which there are a number of FSC members, some of the leaders that you're seeing here. This is the worldwide internet industry in opposition to .XXX. I want to make that perfectly clear.
I'm here to represent the owner of LiveJasmine.com. The owner of LiveJasmine.com is of the opinion that .XXX is not useful to the industry, and he has no need for a .XXX.ltd. The owner of LiveJasmine does not find it useful, in fact quite the opposite. Let me be perfectly clear, he does not support .XXX or the top-level domain approval. AWE and LiveJasmine are already an active leader in combating child pornography, as illustrated by our involvement in ASACP. We are a double platinum sponsor, and I am on the advisory council. Do not be fooled. Approval of .XXX will only serve to undermine the efforts already underway by legitimate adult businesses who also wish to exterminate illegal material. The scheme .XXX does nothing to further individuals, to force those individuals into compliance who do not care about the proliferation of these illegal materials. .XXX is bad for business. .XXX is essentially censorship. The adult industry does not support .XXX.